What is up, Bucs fans? We are back. It's live here on a Monday, Real Bucs Talk, and it's about damn time we get to talk about a Buccaneers victory. The Buccaneers won 20-6 over the Tennessee Titans. Again, a game they should have won, and they did. They came out, they played aggressive. It was conservative at times, but for the most part, they played aggressive on both sides of the ball, and a good result happened, right? Titans weren't a very good team. They found a way to beat that team and get the win that was much needed. So everyone, come join us. It's going to be a good time, good hour. Lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff to talk about within the division. There's plenty of opportunities for this Buccaneers team to, actually go on a run and kind of repeat what they did last year in 2022. So with that said, I'm your host, Michael Plus, joined as always my co-host, Mark Ramirez. Mark, we were at that game yesterday, and it just felt good to finally get some leads. I mean, there's still a lot of things that need to be cleaned up on both sides, but defensively, the guys came to play, and it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, early on, you're frustrated with the lack of consistency on the drives, and and a lot of it's, again, things we've seen throughout the season, just drop passes or missed opportunities and things like that. But you like the ownership that Baker brings out, saying, yeah, it's just a late throw on the interception, where some people are like, oh, put Trask in immediately. I'm like, it's the first damn throw. I mean, I don't know why everyone thinks Trask is the answer every time Baker makes one little mistake. But I mean, what you did see is continual learning process of Dave Canales, things where they're getting into motions, doing things where it's not just running multiple times ever consistently, but you're going to get into that. I know you are. But you just see more creativity. Guys are getting open. Even though Mike's dropping balls, Baker said it himself, no, I kept getting him the ball because he's a better player than that, and he's going to show up to that. Like, some of these drops aren't – he's never dropped the ball this consistently throughout his career, but he's still having a monster season. Like, he almost had 150 yards, and it could have been even more in this game. So the offense being aggressive is good. Defense being aggressive is amazing. Having Devin White go after it and not think about anything. When he doesn't think about anything, he's a baller. When he has to start thinking, where do I have to go? He starts spinning in the secondary. You don't want to see that. But I mean, overall, you got a good vibe of the team. Like we were the better team overall in that game. Even though sadly it was a closer game. 20-6 isn't a blowout, but only allowing 6 is phenomenal for a defense that just allowed 39. So overall, a game we must have won. We had to win. And just with this one win after 4 in a row losing, we're right there in the mix of it in the NFC South. And that's what Todd Bowles always presses, and he's not wrong. That's all you can say. He's not wrong about it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers right here. Defense, I mean, again, came to play. You only allowed 199 yards to Will Levis. You had 1 interception. Could have had a lot more. They just couldn't catch the ball. You had 4 sacks. You had over 20 pressures in this game. You had 10 tackles for loss, which is a huge number. But, I mean, you shut down Derrick Henry. As you see there, only 24 yards. That's terrific. That's really good. And again, just not much in the secondary. You held DeAndre Hopkins, who has been playing pretty well, only to 27 yards. Great job. And then you look at our defense over here. Again, a lot of tackles for loss. 2 by Levante, 2 by Kalijah Cansey, Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Yaya Diaby. He's starting to get more snaps and get in there as far as a pass rusher. And then Vita Vea, always started off the game with a big sack on 3rd and long. So he did his job. So defensively, Marquise Watts, again, we'll talk about him later in the week. He had a great game. So a lot of good things defensively. You look at the offense, again, led by Mike Evans, as it should be, 10 targets for the guy. And again, if he makes 2 more catches, he probably has a bigger game. He could have had at least 2 touchdowns at least. And it just, it didn't happen for him, but still a great game. Chris Godwin, making plays as well. And then Rashad White with the huge, the biggest play of the year for the Buccaneers as far as touchdowns, 43 yards on the screenplay, which was pretty much just dump it off to him, and he took care of the rest. I mean, it was wide open. They did a great call. So a lot of things to like there. Running the ball, again, still work in progress. But Baker was pretty much efficient for the most part and did his job.
Yeah, I mean, talking Baker, like we talked about the Baker Trask thing. If you saw the touchdown to Rashad White, Baker got knocked in his ass on that play, literally demolished, but he got the ball out right as he was getting hit. If you see it earlier on in the game, his rollout to Mike Evans, that was a hell of a hard throw to make on the run, going opposite side of the throwing arm. Like that is an insanely hard throw, and he made it perfectly on the dime. Like some of the throws he makes are fantastic. I think just people. I was telling you about this earlier today. Like I think Buck fans are just they were spoiled or just they got I don't know with the Tom Brady because he went from I mentioned it a moron to a genius. He went from a Jameis Winston who doesn't take care of the ball at all and is a turnover prone guy. New Orleans Saints, you're welcome. And then you go over to Tom Brady, who is the master of all, best player to ever play the game at that position, and we expect that. That's not there's no, you can't do that. That's not unrealistic expectations.
Yep.
But Baker, his realistic expectation is, yeah, he was a first overall pick. He has plenty of ability, but he's also learning a new system. Even though he was in a similar system, he's learning a whole new cast of teammates. I know Tom Brady had to go through the same thing, won a Super Bowl, but again, Buccaneer fans are getting a little too overly unrealistic, and we got to realize Baker's actually playing at a pretty high level. And you put it up today, like Trevor Lawrence and Baker Mayfield's numbers. Baker's blowing them out of the water with touchdowns. But you don't hear people saying Trevor Lawrence isn't the answer in Jacksonville.
Right.
I don't know. Do we really think Kyle Trask would be that much better than Baker right now, or is it they just want a number one overall pick? Like I don't like that either. Like to tank, I don't want to tank, and that isn't the answer for success because clearly Trevor Lawrence isn't doing well either, and Patrick Mahomes wasn't a number one overall pick last I looked. So there's a better answer in between there. It's not just bust or go all in. So I don't know. But let's talk about the Titans game plus. Keep going on.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as Baker. I thought he did a lot of good things. Again, there's probably some throws you would like to have back. Obviously the first drive, the throw to Devin Tompkins, he was late on it. Didn't really put it in a great spot as far as getting it to where it needed to be. It needed to be in the end zone, and it came up short. I don't really, when you look at the all 22, I don't really see as a bad decision. The ball just didn't come out the way he needed it to. But at the same time, he spoke about that. He was like, we'll hit, Kate Otten underneath, get a field goal at least, or you go to Trey Palmer on the other side of the field. So overall, I think he's doing a fine job. And again, this is without a established running game. It's a running game that really isn't producing at what you need as far as yards per carry and efficiency. Some of that is due to the play sequencing. Some of that is just these guys are not built to run the football right now because of what they have interior. And, it's an inside zone scheme, and it's just not working. They just can't find the consistency with it. And the Titans did a good job because they have Jeffrey Simmons and some bigger guys that know how to, stop the run. But Rashad was still effective, overall with almost 100 yards again from the line of scrimmage, and he made a huge play. I mean that screen play was awesome. It was a great call, and that is what you need more of that. And there was also some miss execution plays. I mean Trey Palmer gets an unfortunate call on they called it a drop. I thought it was a catch.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, again, got to catch that touchdown wide open. Again, perfectly schemed up. They did a great job of getting him wide open. Easiest touchdown he could ever have in his career, and he doesn't come up with it. So when you look at it that way, it could have been 21-6. Maybe you get to 24. Maybe you get to more points if certain guys catch the ball. But my biggest issue with the offense is, again, just not enough points in the first half yet again. Only 7 points in the first half. That's not good enough. So that has to be better. And, we discussed this a lot today. It's like the process. Things have to be more aggressive, and you have to understand that you just can't waste downs, especially when you're facing, certain teams. So you got to do a good job of pushing the tempo early on to get points as fast as possible, continue to rack up points in the first half. And that's a big thing. And I think, did you want to pull up the Mike Evans play? It looks like you have it up on your
Yeah,
computer
let's
there.
pull this up. So this is us
Yeah.
getting a freaking front row view to
Yeah.
what should have been the easiest touchdown, like Plus was saying, that
Mm.
he's ever had. Let's zoom this in a little bit more. So I mean, we're just sitting there watching. Okay, let's see what did he draw up, and he draws something fantastic. Oh, I don't want to hear how loud this is. Come on now. All right, let's go. So we got a little red zone drawing up play. Got everyone. Oh, he's gonna stop. He's gonna stop here. Let's charge him. He loves his routes, and he talked about how he's running different routes that Dave's put in the system. So usually, when Mike's gonna make one stop, everyone's gonna charge towards him, right? And they do. A little shimmy step fake. This guy's gonna go with Godwin, middle of the field, wide the hell open. And look at Baker sees it, getting all excited. There's no one there. You're wide open. Everyone has their phones out, ready to take a touchdown.
Yep.
And oh, look at Godwin. He's like, we got one.
Yeah, it's a touchdown, right?
It's so
Yeah.
you just can't get it any gift wrap better.
Yeah.
And a drop. And
But
what's crazy,
it's Baker's fault though, because again, it wasn't a perfect spiral.
Yep.
So for that, it was not caught. That's just how our fan base sees it. And brutal as Bucs in here, always he just can't stand Baker. But I get it. Scariest thing an NFL franchise can have is mediocre quarterback and loyal fan base. Middle of the road hell for years. Baker has similar stats to T-Law in a down year. Both are mid this year. Yeah, I don't know. I can agree with that. I don't think I think Baker has been solid enough more than not. Yeah, I mean, Detroit, did he miss a lot of throws? Yeah, I mean, that could have been a lot better, but I don't think he's been as bad as people are trying to make it out to be. It's a team game, and this team is there's a lot of issues with this team besides just Baker Mayfield. And that goes back to your point, Mark, earlier. It's like, what are we expecting from the quarterback position? Are we expecting them to just be perfect throughout the game? Like make every right read, make every throw possible. Like, just doesn't work that way. I mean, you look at, and I talked about this in our group chat on Twitter. It's like, look at all the NFC quarterbacks. So you go Jalen Hurts, Eagles, Lions, Minnesota Vikings even. You look at Seattle Seahawks and then San Francisco 49ers. You look at Dallas Cowboys. All those teams, what do they have? Yes, they have a good quarterback, but what's surrounded by that good quarterback? A good team, a good offensive system is in place. They know how to attack from the get-go. They know how to sequence. They know how to properly use their personnel, right? So they're putting their guys in best positions. They're making it easier for the quarterback. They're making it where the quarterback doesn't have to do these difficult, ridiculous throws off their back foot and run all over. Like, not everyone's Patrick Mahomes. Like, Mahomes is one of one. Like, Mahomes,
he still lost to us in the Super Bowl and didn't even score a touchdown. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
the bottom line is it takes a team game. You need a lot of factors in any situation to be a successful, consistent, high-level playing quarterback. Like, it's mind-boggling.
This, like, you got to see it as an investment. I mean, no investment goes from, unless it's like Bitcoin or some shit or some like fake coin, or it just goes to the moon. Like, come on. Like, realistically, things get better with time. That's why you see so many like tread of coaches and that team still stays bad for so damn long, because they don't let the scheme, the system work, especially if it does work. That's why Mike Tomlin always stays coach, because they know his shit works. even though things are bad at one point, they always return back to where he is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it's just coaching and mentality and being patient and letting it develop. You think immediately Baker Mayfield can be elite with a brand new offensive coordinator, first time calling plays, and he's just thrown to the wolves. And now we're talking about a total offensive line rehaul. We're talking less weapons on offense. Tom Brady, when he came here, he had an elite offensive line. He had like 4 Pro Hall of Famers to throw to.
Yeah.
And an endless supply of and that's why we won. I mean, and look what happened last year. He didn't have an endless supply of Hall of Famers to throw to. He had Mike and Godwin. That was it. And look what happened. This was the offense. We said we're better than we were last year on offense, and we're pissed. We're pissed right now. So what are we getting mad at? Is it the quarterback issue, or is it just the offense has to get its steamroll going? Because to me, there were plenty of opportunities to continue moving the ball. We had drop passes by Trey Palmer, Mike Evans, drop touchdown by Mike Evans. Things keep going if you catch a ball. Even the Eagles game, if we get more catches, we get more successful drives moving down the field. The Lions game, maybe he missed some, but that's part of getting into an offense, learning an offense. The timing still isn't there because that's what happened with the Devin Tompkins interception. You could see him double clutching it multiple times when he should have just unleashed it. He was on a linebacker. He saw that.
Yeah.
Trust your read, get it out. And I think he's learning it. And I'm not going to bash him for what he's having to do and learning on the go and how it seems like he's building relationships with all of his receivers and tight ends. I mean, the room likes him. I think Buck fans just need to kind of ride the waves. It's not like Jameis Winston, and everyone loved Jameis Winston. They gave him they still want him here, but some fans.
Yeah.
And that was like torture. Baker's not doing that right now, and that was what people were expecting. I mean, I don't know. I think people need to be a little bit more patient and let this investment slowly start developing because you got a young OC that's slowly getting it. A lot more runs out of shotgun, even though it's not necessarily working. But the creativity is there. I don't see the stupid stubbornness of certain things. So I don't know. I think we need to kind of look. I'm not saying Baker's the savior either. I mean, we still can improve, but let's not say he's a piece of crap either.
Yeah, and it comes down. Do you think he can win a championship? I think you have to put him, and you have to get to that type of situation, like the level that these other teams are on. Offensively, like, do we think Jared Goff? I mean, Jared Goff made it to the Super Bowl. Probably could have won it.
I think Brock Purdy can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Brock Purdy. Like, like these guys are not that much. They're all on the same level as a Baker Mayfield. Like, as far as talent wise goes, like there's not much difference. So I mean, any of those guys can win a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, like, he's got a great team. I mean, look at his team.
We talked about that.
Dak Prescott. Is Dak Prescott going to win a Super Bowl? Like, where has he been in the playoffs? Yeah.
And it's crazy how you just get this persona about a team, and it's like that's what it is. Because we lost Brady, now we're just the Buccaneers again. I don't get it. And sometimes that this is why people bash us because we don't stick to our team. We start turning into Rays fans, and it's a majority New York and Boston. But hey, I mean, look, it was a good point. Right? Probably the best thrower ever of the football.
Marino was the best talented quarterback. Probably, I mean, had a hell of a cannon. But I mean, you think Matthew Stafford's elite? Yeah, he's good, great thrower.
Well, I think he went all in on that one season. Now he's just his body's toast.
Yeah, I mean, they made a move. They did the same thing we did with Tom Brady. Like, but you got to look at that team. Like, they were geared to win that year. Like,
and we almost beat them.
Yeah, we should have beat them. We should have beat them. But anyways, that's we can always talk about the quarterback position probably for the whole show.
Yeah, right.
But the main thing I wanted to discuss is this right here. This tweet I put. Yeah, this tweet I put up.
This for like the rest of the show.
Probably. So let me bring this back up. This was tweeted out by Jenna Lane, but I retweeted it. So she said Bucks blitzed a lot more this week, played a lot more man coverage. Getting back to being aggressive was an important step for this group and was sorely missing. She said last week, but I think it's been throughout the whole season. So, just and then I said it's key to everything for this team. Coach / play aggressive on both sides of the ball. They will win more than they lose, but that's a big if. So this goes back to coaching and the philosophy, mainly Todd Bowles, where as the head coach, like he needs to understand that this team plays its best when it's aggressive on both sides of the ball. Like, and I know Dave is trying to establish the run and get things going there, but you got to start being aggressive because we know the passing game works, especially on first down, 1st and 10. We've done it. We did it yesterday. First play of the game was a pass, and we got a big completion, anticipation throw by Baker. Godwin catches it, but then after that, it's like, oh, we'll go back to the run and get 1 yard. So things like that, they have to improve. That's where the processing comes in, has to be better. So I'm just asking this team to continue to be aggressive defensively, continue to play press man, continue to blitz Devin White. Do it this week against San Francisco. If Brock Purdy beats you deep, so be it. At least you're playing with an identity. At least you're playing your guys to their best, where they play to their strengths. And offensively, try to be attacking and understand that. Get the ball out in space to Rashad White. Find your weapons, find Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and go down there and try to score touchdowns. Like, you can't wait for the second half to get more points. You got to score early in this league. I mean, look at the games we saw yesterday with, Lions and Chargers. I mean, and what was the other game? Like Seattle and Washington, like those teams scoring points.
Great games.
Yeah, I mean, but again, they're being aggressive early on, and that's what needs to happen with this coaching staff moving forward. So I hope that continues to get better. Definitely throughout the season because, and Mark, I don't know if you can pull up the schedule just of the Buccaneers, like who we're playing over these
every week almost
over these last couple games. You can go ahead and share it.
And here we go.
Yeah. So, I mean, Mark, just go down the list of the quarterbacks of the last. We have 8 games left.
Yeah, we got Brock Purdy, Gardner Minshew, right?
Yep.
We got Bryce Young, rookie. But we don't even know who the hell's going to be that. Is it Heineke or is it Ritter? Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, which we just got done talking about. Mm-hmm. We don't even know. Is it going to be Derek Carr? Is it going to be Jameis? And then Bryce Young again.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, not a great slate. I mean, you look at those offenses, they're not elite offenses by any means. If the Bucs defense comes out and plays aggressive and plays that style, those are games we should win easily. I mean, there really shouldn't be anything to debate on those. Like, those should be wins.
But that's the crap we talk about every week here.
Yeah.
which team's going to show up because which coaching staff will show up.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating part about it. And that's why we're like, oh, the talent on the team is more than enough.
Yeah.
It's how are we using it? How do you go from one game, not just sitting back, and then this game you go all out and look what the hell happens. Mm-hmm. I know it's a different type of rookie quarterback. CJ Stroud came back again and won the damn ball game against the Bengals.
Yeah.
6 of the last 8. I can see it too.
Yeah.
And I can also see us not even getting close to that.
Mm-hmm.
If there it is again. If
that's the big if. Flash Gordon points out JPP with the Saints. Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
But
it's not going to help their quarterback problem. So offensively, that's their issue. And again, that's another team that they don't know what to do on offense. Like they have good pieces on offense, but if you don't have if you don't know how to orchestrate things and put things together and understand how to get those guys the football the right way, guess what? You're not a good offense. It's not going to work no matter what, whoever your quarterback is. They could have Patrick Mahomes on their team, but if Patrick is not being designed the right way as far as, this offense getting guys open for him, it's not going to work. So, yeah, I mean, you got to have the right attack, whether whoever's offense it is. And just looking at that schedule, though, if the Bucs offense can just put up 20, 20 plus and continue to be consistent as far as their mindset and throwing more on first down, you got a good chance to get 9 to 10 wins for sure.
That's crazy to think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is.
But I mean, in reality, you're not lying. And if you look at the press conferences today, like what Jamel Dean says, he's like, I'm good at playing man. I like that we're doing this. And he's what do you say, a superstitious guy. He's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We did really good this game. Let's keep doing it. I agree. We both agree. And this is what this team's good at. Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, they're both long, lanky guys that like to jam at the line. Let them do it. If you pay these guys that much to do that, let's keep doing it. Yes, fall back into zones at times, but majority should be what the hell they're good at doing. And Devin White, send his ass in. 9 times out of 10, send his ass in. Because when he has to drop back too far, he's doing too much and he's spinning. And I literally mean that. Figured, not suggestively. I just figured like he's literally spinning in the middle of the field, not knowing where to be, looking for a man. He just doesn't know how to feel a zone. Let him get after the quarterback. I know in other podcasts he says he can play the Chandler Parsons role. Well, I mentioned that he's the same exact body type as what's his name, James Harrison. So why the hell not? Let's send him in. That's what he's best at. And guess what? You have another ball hawk by the name of Antoine Winfield Jr. Let him be the best player that he can be at flying around, finding the ball. I mean, you can't just let him sit. Let him go after it. Let him trust his reads. Let Devin White force a read. And let's see. Well, you got to be able to use your – what did I say yesterday? It's like leaving a thoroughbred in the stable.
Yeah.
And let him run, right? Like, so I just play all out like that, and let's see what happens. No one's expecting a win against the 49ers, but if you make it competitive because of the defense you're playing, let's see what happens. And the next few games after that, we could definitely go on a run. But, again, that's the big if.
Yeah, and guys, here that are here in the chat, I mean, what we're trying to say is you gotta lean into who you are as a team. You have to find a way to build that identity, and I think that is something that Todd Bowles is just way too inconsistent with. Like, either be aggressive or find another job, because that's what you've been priding yourself on. I mean, it's true, right? Because he's been aggressive his whole career. Like, that's what he builds his defense around. It's being smart in how you pressure, right? It's the simulated pressures. It's coming after them. It's dropping the zone fire blitzes. Like, but that only works if you're aggressive from the get-go, right? You're playing coverage to match those blitzes, to match what you're bringing. And that's what he did, especially in 2020, 2021, he did it. That is what you have to get back to as a defense, and it works, right? So you force these.
Yeah, he had the balls to blitz Matthew Stafford that last play, and he was an ass hair away from getting Ndamukong Suh from getting a sack. Right. He just put it in the perfect place. Yes, Matthew Stafford made one hell of a throw when he needed to make it.
Yeah,
but the defense did what it needed to do. It was just a hair off, but that's what you do. Like, you go out on your sword.
Yeah,
you live to the best of your ability, what you can do. And they went all out. That second half, they freaking went all out.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. You got to play balls to the walls every game, not just sit back. Yeah. And I think he kind of learned that from the Texans game. Let's see if that stays true moving forward. It doesn't matter if you have a lead or whatever the hell it is. Just stay aggressive. And that's for the offense too, like you mentioned to your quote on that thing from Jenna Lane. You can't let off, or teams will come back and beat your ass.
Yeah, and Charles here makes a great point. Got to scheme and call plays with the strengths of your players in mind in order to put guys in place to make plays. Yep, absolutely. Monty Kiffin, yeah, he had a lot of success doing that. Again, they had an identity. They understood what their defense was. They got the players that can play it correctly. You had a Derek Brooks who could
Smart.
orchestrate everything, and Barber, and just smart football players, and they could play cover two all day. And they had the pass rush up front to make it work. That's smart coaching. That's understanding what you have. And that's all we're asking for. We're asking for these guys to just let them play free, and fast. And you saw that yesterday. They played a lot faster. There was no hesitation. You got 10 plus tackles for loss. Like
You said
that
20 plus pressures?
20 plus pressures.
That's nuts.
And you ended up getting 4 sacks. And you could have had 3 interceptions, maybe 4, because I think there was a couple that were dropped by Levante, and then Jamel Dean had one in the end zone. So it could have been 20-3, really, at the end of the day. So a great performance. And that's what you have to do this week against San Francisco. And it's going to be tough as hell to win up there in San Francisco. They're a great team. They know who they are. They've been together for years. They're pushing on that door to try to get a Super Bowl. But let's see what happens if you play aggressive and you take the fight to them and play like you got nothing to lose. I think that's how you got to play moving forward. Like, there is no tomorrow. You just keep playing. You just keep playing and you be aggressive. So that's what you got to do.
I'm gonna get that soundbite for the next, especially if they win.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm gonna do it regardless. But
are you getting the one from Rock?
Yes.
Are you getting the one from Rocky? Yeah.
That is.
Oh yeah, Apollo Creed says that. Yeah, that is the best. There is no tomorrow, but it's so true. Like, you got to start doing what you do best, and that is identity of being aggressive. And the other thing I could talk about all day is not using your timeouts. Like,
oh yeah,
Todd. You gotta start using your timeouts, man.
Gotta write these down.
Yeah. You gotta use your timeouts, especially before the end of the first half.
He went in with all three timeouts.
All 3 again. Like he did it last week against the Texans, did it this week again.
Yeah, like let me look at
you gotta maximize your opportunities here.
So like which pisses us off so much.
Yeah.
You're just saying you're at home, your defense is actually playing lights out, and you want to be a team that can put your foot on the throat of another team. I think it was 40 something seconds left. I mean, you just saw what a game prior, what CJ Stroud can do with 46 seconds. You could have a shorter field than what CJ Stroud had to go in, and you don't get Baker the ball to move the ball, at least have an opportunity. Let me see. So where is it? Before the half. End of half.
Yeah.
We punt. Let's see. I don't know. I can't even bring it up. But he had 3 timeouts with 36 seconds left.
I think I have it here. Let me see. When did we punt? Yeah, so we punted the ball at 41. So they got the ball with 36 seconds, and they just ran one play, and only got 2 yards. Let me see. I'll share it here.
So, but either way, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I see that pulled up. So zoom in.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. So it's right here. 36 seconds left. They do a first down run. You could have called a timeout, and you could have used all 3 timeouts because they were just gonna probably try to run the ball. So, because I mean, look where they are. They're at the 7. So you probably get the ball back at least at your 45 with maybe 20 seconds, 25 seconds at least. You got to at least try to get a field goal or something. Plus, your kicker has been making long kicks all year. Like, you got to maximize point totals. Like, you can't just go in to halftime with 7 points, especially.
Okay, so 3rd and 5. Mike Evans. No, go back up. Right there.
Oh yeah, right.
Mike Evans drops the ball. Should have been a first down. We're pissed off. There's 46 seconds left right there. Just take a timeout to think about going forward on 4th. and get your guys out there and see if you can draw a penalty at least to get the 5.
You could have ran the same play and Mike
Yeah,
probably catches it.
yeah,
Like,
because look where you're at. You're at the 41 on your side.
yeah.
Not on your side, on the opponent's side, so you're on the good side of the 50.
Yeah, you're pretty much in field goal
Right?
range.
And you're trusting your defense that you've only given up 3 points the entire damn game. What is there to lose?
Mhm.
Like, and if you're playing aggressive mentality, you go for it, or you at least try and draw them off sides, take a timeout to think about it, do something with those timeouts. Take a timeout and say, Dave, what is your best play? Let's do it right now. What's your first down? We're going to get it. Trust in your OC to do it. You've been trusting them throughout the season. We need to see that consistently. And that play should have been a first down, but it wasn't. That could have been points. If he get a first down there, we already have 3. We get 3 after that.
Yeah.
But it could have been more, but no, so a lot of that situation bothered me. I'm like, first of all, should have caught it. Second of all, probably should have went for it. Third of all, why are we not taking a timeout? And then we're going to punt it, and we still have all 3, and we didn't take one timeout. Yeah. Whether they're just going to run it 3 times, you take 3 timeouts, and then, okay, we get the ball back with like 30-something seconds left again because you take a timeout every time. But that's a mentality thing, not just how we block and run in the running game, but also mentality of how to put your foot on someone's throat. Like, we got to win games and push it to the opponent, thinking, what the hell? Why don't they just let us get to the damn locker room? No, because we're going to try and score more points. You got to get that fear in their eyes and make them think twice.
Yep.
Because they were trying to run away. How are we going to scheme this differently? No. If we got you where we want you, we got to keep going after it. That is a mentality thing.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I mean, and that goes back to, like, just watching, and I don't know if you probably did watch a lot of the games yesterday were really good, like just great games. But the one that caught my eye was the Lions and Chargers, because Dan Campbell, again, understanding the situation, understanding that your defense is struggling, like they can't stop the Chargers offense. So what do? They have the ball inside their own, the Chargers 30. So they're in field goal range already to take the lead. It's 4th and 2. Guess what? They go for it, because if they get it, that's ball game, right? So they end up getting it. They run the clock all the way down and kick a field goal to win the game. That is aggressive mindset coaching. That's understanding playing to win, not being afraid of losing, not being afraid that, you're going to mess up or whatever. That's got to be the change. And that's the sad thing, because, like, I don't think Todd Bowles is the answer. I think he's just way too inconsistent. I think if they don't go on a run, most likely he's fired. And you got to get someone in here that can be a better head coach than he is right now. Again, yesterday was progress because the players came to him and spoke up, and they're like, we gotta start playing, to our strengths. We got to be aggressive and stop this, whatever we were doing before, because it wasn't working.
Whatever we were doing before. Hey, let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a good coach does. I mean, yeah, he thinks he's putting his players in the best position to be possible. I mean, he speaks the right things. Both these guys, Canales and Bowles, they both say the right things. I know people don't like the demeanor in which Todd Bowles speaks, but he says all the right things. And I think him as well is going to his players thinking, okay, I didn't put you in the best position to be successful because clearly we just let up almost 500 yards to a rookie quarterback. What is it? Where do you feel more comfortable? I mean, that's the same thing how Dave Canales asked Baker Mayfield, where do you feel comfortable? Which throws? Which ones can we just throw out then? Maybe he went to his players and same thing. Okay, well, clearly we're not doing this well. What is something you can do well and you want me to run more of? But we're going to still run some zones. We just have to. You can't literally deliberately get away from something else, especially in defense. I know everyone wants to just throw the damn ball all over the damn place on offense, neglect the run. But defensively, you can't do that because they will eat you alive. They will start saying, oh, they're just doing man all over the field. Fine, let's do man beaters. And that's
Yeah, you got to have a balance, but I think the percentage of the snaps have to be man coverage, because again, that is what you're doing best. So you have to mix in your zone. And I think that was the problem. He had it backwards. He was playing exclusively zone with a little bit of man mixed in. Has to be the other way around. It should have been that from the get-go. And that's why I struggle with believing in Todd Bowles for down the road in the future, because if you're making those mistakes, that's not a good sign. You got to listen to your players a lot sooner than week 10. That's something that should have been fixed. But he did fix it. So you gotta give him kudos on that as far as making the adjustment. So, and then with the offense, yeah, I would love to see them just come out pass heavy and sprinkle in the run here and there, especially out of shotgun. I think it would work a lot more. Run against only 6-man boxes, but you just have to execute. You have to maximize your opportunities. Guys have to catch the ball, do all those things. But you got to get more points in the first half. That's my only bugaboo with the offense. Got to score more in the first half.
But again, plus got to catch the ball too.
Yeah.
I know. I agree with you. You don't need to play for third down every damn drive.
Right.
It doesn't have to
be
the
scheme is there. Like, scheme works. It's getting guys open. Just got to make the plays.
People are getting open. Got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And I can see the creativity of, they want to do this inside zone stuff a lot, but I can see the sprinkle in of Devin Tompkins doing outside stretch plays and end arounds and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's creative, and it's making the defense think. That's why they're trying to get a linebacker thinking, go laterally and then run an inside zone run. I just don't think we have the manpower or personnel to run it just yet, because Hainsey just sometimes just flat out gets beat. But when he does look good, you can see it big time because it's a successful play. When he does well, it's notable because he didn't mess up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually an inside zone to the middle of your interior is what's making the movement. And when he is moving downfield, he looks pretty damn good, but it's the initial push, and sometimes he just doesn't have that. So, I mean, that's one area that we've kind of pressed on throughout the season. Hopefully that gets addressed in the offseason. But overall, I think it is improving regardless of what people want to say about it. And the scheme does work. It's just, let's find the ones that are working consistently and let's catch the ball and don't hold back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Like, some of these down and distances, go for it, especially when it's an opportunistic for you.
Yeah, and people forget, like you said, again, offensive line is still trying to gel. It's a new group. You've had injury to your left guard as well. Aaron Stinney has played pretty solid, but also the big injury that I think got left untalked about is Russell Gage, and how important he would have been for this offense, because even though Trey Palmer shows a lot of promise, rookie. And that's a lot. And the other guys are rookies as well. Raheem Jarrett and Devin Tompkins, even though he's a second-year guy, still young. So not having Russell Gage out there, I think that was a lot of people put that as not of a big blow, but really it was like a very important player that would have been great in this offense because he knows how to get open. He's got that quick separation. Would have been a nice blanket for Baker Mayfield to throw to underneath, especially on these third downs as well. So that's a huge loss. Also, underrated run blocker. People forget about that. So that's a tough thing to overcome. And I think you've seen that where they're kind of growing into these guys and allowing them to do more in the passing game. So hopefully they just continue to work on that process. I think it's getting better. Obviously, first down passing, that's the only thing I want to see continue to grow and mature, and use these runs on second and shorts and find the way to balance yourself that way.
If there's one area that I will criticize Baker on, it's just hitting that deep ball.
Hitting the over route.
Right?
Hitting the over route.
Hitting the deep ball. I mean, he sees it too. Like in years past, when we've looked at his
pull the trigger.
In years past, he almost threw it blindly.
Yeah.
Like, I got a deep route. We need a big play. I'm just going to throw it. It was like a Winston-esque kind of throw. Mm-hmm. I'm happy he's not doing that. But when he sees it, he needs to just let it loose. It's like he double clutches, and then just that little double clutch wastes it. He needs to let it fly, especially with these Trey Palmer where he's running even with a player. Trust your guy to make it. He's probably the fastest guy on the field every damn down. So
Mhm.
Especially if a corner's facing you and Trey Palmer's running towards the goalpost. I think Trey's going to win. So trust him to win deep routes. Even the Devin Tompkins, I said earlier, he was looking at it, double clutches, steps up. I'm like, what are you doing? Let it fly. And that's one area. If he starts hitting that, yeah, we're up early if he does that. I mean, that's the big if. And that's one
Yeah.
area I will dock him left and right. And he's reading the field well. He just needs to get the timing of it better. Like I'm for me, seeing his week by week maturation, I think there's nothing but improvement. It's
Mhm.
just the timing on the deep route. Everything else, I think he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's just again, it's just hitting the plays that are there. So understanding, trying to get positive yards on each and every play. I think that's the biggest thing. Take your completions, find a way to, if like you said, if you see it, you got to trust it. You got to trust these guys to make plays. And I think that goes on both sides of the ball. Like guys trusting each other, making sure that you're just focusing on what your job is. That's the biggest thing. But I want to get into the chat here a little bit. I appreciate all you guys showing the support. Be sure to hit that like button. We'll pull that up here. So hit that like button for us. It does very good for the channel. It really helps us out. So if you guys can do that, that would be awesome. But anyways, back to the chat here. I just wanted to mention some things. Eric Marino, good to see you. Hello, welcome. I think Carlton Davis will play on Sunday. I think you asked that earlier. He'll definitely be out there. I think. Flash Gordon, really doing a great job putting a lot of comments. He says they're going to go on a run. Only problem is 49ers this week. Yeah, I mean, probably not going to win that one. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, they're really good. So, San Antogado? Good to see you. McCaffrey will be a problem, but can be minimized with the right scheme. Yeah, McCaffrey, the main thing with him is you got to tackle. Like, he's so elusive. Like, he just knows how to bounce off guys. You can't really let him get a full head of steam because once he gets downhill, he just doesn't stop. Like, the guy's like a robot in how he runs.
I don't think McCaffrey likes playing the Bucs. Every time
Right.
he plays this, he gets hurt.
That is true. That
I
is true.
think,
Did
I
he
think.
did he get hurt last year?
Oh, I didn't. I wouldn't even see that. I didn't even watch 1 second of that game because I knew it was going to be a loss.
I don't think he got hurt last year, but
Or was he? Was he already hurt? I was he even on the team yet? I don't even know.
no, he played.
No, he played. I know the end result was like 35, what, 6?
I think
35, 3? Was
yeah, it
it
was something like that.
like
Maybe 35-7 or something like that. But yeah.
pathetic? But old lefty at it. Old lefty at it
Mhm.
again. But like I
Yeah,
think
Flash Gordon's on he said he ripped us on purpose. So yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the run fits will be there. It's it's forcing Brock Purdy to beat you. I
Yeah.
let's see what he can do. I mean, everyone says Baker's short, Brock Purdy's short. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. And one thing I wanted to talk on about the defense again. You
Mhm.
said we were going to talk about it. I
Yeah.
love the usage rate of Yaya Diaby going up. I love that they finally got Marquise Watson,
Yeah.
and the comment of him saying of Todd Bowles saying, "Well, he was facing Luke and Wirfs in practice, and he was beating him. So we just thought we got to get him in the game." What do you think? Right? Like
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart.
he really looked like Shaq Barrett when at the end of the um, 53-man cuts, it was either him or Noah Spence. Shaq Barrett looked like a man amongst boys. And
Mhm.
that's how Marquise Watts was looking in preseason.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? And every damn time, the second I saw him, I go, Plush, do you see who's on the damn field? And
Yeah.
every damn time he made a play.
Right.
He was the Antoine Winfield Jr. interception. He hit his arm on the throw. He made his first play on the game. He was sold out for a sack, gets hit, and then makes a play from behind.
Right.
So the dude's ready. I just want to see him be used more often, especially on third down. Like
Mhm.
I think that is a huge pawn that no one expects to be coming out of the Buccaneers right now. If you replace, dare I say, Anthony Nelson, or I
Right.
mean, who the hell was he even in for? Because we had a lot of edge rushers in that game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because here I'll bring back up the box score here, but yeah, Anthony Nelson, didn't get as many snaps. It was less snaps for Drew Tryon-Shoyinka as well. Yaya Diaby was the main snap guy as far as edge rush. And then also you had Shaq Barrett, who didn't go off the field. So let me bring this back up here so we can get that up there. So yeah, I mean, you look at Shaq Barrett again played pretty well, a sack. You know, he had tackle for loss as well. Anthony Nelson was in there. Yaya Diaby with 2 tackles for loss and a sack. So he was playing very well out there. And again, he continues to grow as a player, and I think that has to be very exciting for Buccaneers fans and just the Bucs defense as a whole. And there's Marquise Watts right there. So he had the 1 tackle. Mark was talking about it where he got knocked down on a screenplay. He gets back up and he hustles to the football, ends up making the tackle. So he played really well. And again, they don't show his quarterback hit on here, but he had a quarterback hit. And that led to the Antoine Winfield Jr. Interception. So great job by the defense just flying around. Also, D. Delaney outsnapped Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal only got 23 snaps in the game. D. Delaney had, I believe, 38. So it looks like that change has been pretty much solidified moving forward.
Look at the QB hits in the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. QB hits.
Go all the way down.
All the way down.
There it is. Oh, it's not on yours? Oh.
No, I don't have it.
I think you zoomed in too much. They had 13 QB hits.
Right. There you go. Let me see.
That is insane.
I can try zooming out a little bit. Let me see. Oh, maybe they don't show it for me.
Here, let's switch it on over. There you go. So there you go. Marquise Watts, now they show his QB hit. So that's his 1 QB hit. Vita had 2. Izzy had 1. Diaby had 2. Like, look at that. That is insane. Everyone got in there. And that's what we're talking about. Keep this same mentality. I don't care if it's a good team, bad team, you keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they have to be aware that, holy crap, this team could be sending blitzers from any position possible. And this is a lie from hell.
What's that? Capacity?
Attendance was 95%. I call bullshit.
Yeah, so they say what's almost 63,000. Yep. I mean, it could be technically, it could be that number as far as tickets sold.
That didn't go.
But yeah, it wasn't that crowded, especially in the second half. I think a lot of people left after the first half, to be honest. Which is, I mean, I get it. I understand. I wanted to bring up something. I wanted to just bring up the division real quick. Let me go to right here. Let this load. But yeah, I just want to talk about the division and like how wide open it is again. It's right there for the Buccaneers, pretty much there for any of these teams, really, because I think each of them have 4 division games left, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll look at the NFC South. Let me pull this back up. So, I mean, Mark, what do we make of this division? I mean, is it just that bad? I mean, 5-5 for the Saints. Atlanta just doesn't look good. Like, they lost to an Arizona Cardinals team that just got Kyler Murray back. Carolina is Carolina. Like, yeah, they're a mess. So, I mean, it's right there for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and New Orleans doesn't know what quarterback they want. Atlanta doesn't know what quarterback they want. And Panthers are just trying to figure out who's going to stay after this year.
Right.
Yes, it is very, very wide open. The defense needs to stay consistent, and the offense just needs to get better for Tampa Bay, and they'll be right where they need to be. We just showed a schedule of teams we're facing. Other than the 49ers and the Jaguars, they all should be, with a massive quote over it, winnable games. More than 50% chance you should win. And I'd be surprised if not favored in a majority of those. But that's a whole big if, because we lost to the Falcons. Ritter made us look like trash, and they fumbled the ball 3 times in their red zone.
Yeah.
So I mean, we just wanted them to win. We just didn't let them win. And they ended up winning in the end. So it's frustrating. It's what team is going to come out. I mean, you knew what you're going to see from of Leftwich led offense last year. It was disgusting to watch. This one, you could see either or. You could see a good damn team come out, or you could see a team flop. But what also is pissing me off is that they don't change. Like it could be good from the start and it's good all the way. It could be bad and it just stays bad. That I don't understand, especially defensively.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's going to be the coaching mentality because you got the players. You just got to use them right.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's what it comes down to. It's it's that tweet I put up earlier. You got to be firing on all cylinders, being aggressive from the get go, and just go out there and play to win. Like, stop with the being safe on both sides. Like, go out there and try to take the game from the other team. Go get it. Don't try to stay back and say, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to field them out. We're going to let them get easy yards. Like, no, everything should be contested. Everything should be a fight. And that's how you got to play on both sides of the ball. Like, even the Mike Evans touchdown, that's the mentality you want. Him fighting for that touchdown, knowing that he blew it on the last possession and he wants a touchdown. Like, you get him the football, and you need a team to play like that, continuing to push forward, not back down from anybody, and go out and show your aggressiveness on both sides and show your mentality.
What they need to do is make a low light video for Mike Evans to watch before every game.
Yeah.
Of all of his drops.
Make him upset.
Just piss his ass off. So I'm not going to do that shit one more time. I'm catching every damn ball.
Yeah. He plays better when he's upset. That's for sure.
Just don't get so upset you get kicked out of a damn game. But, I mean, get upset because, geez, you've been done this consistently every game almost. And they're drive killers, team killers. I mean, you are an upper echelon player. You just got to catch the ball. You're open every damn time it hits your hands.
Yeah.
So just catch the ball, receive the ball. I mean, that's your job. And that's why he gets so damn pissed, because he knows he's that good and he should make those plays.
Right. No, absolutely. And, just speaking on his numbers, like, again, he's on pace to have one of his better years, probably closest to, let me see if I can bring up his stats real quick before I share screen again. Oh, do you have it already?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you just look at his numbers so far through, and this is only 9 games. So 43 catches, over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns, 17.1 yards per catch. So that means they're getting him open. They're getting him open downfield. And Mark, I don't know if you can go to his full stats where it shows, does it show his targets, how many targets he has? There it is, 70 targets. So a healthy pace. He's projected 81 catches, over 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. So again, that's a pretty good year. I don't know if you can bring up his, I think it was 2016 year, if possible. You probably have to go to the full career. Yeah, the full career or stats. There you go. Was it 2016? Yeah, 2016, or maybe it was
201500 and 2018.
2018. That was, yeah. So that was the big year where he had 1,500 yards on, what is that, 86 catches?
86 catches, 139 targets.
Yeah, but look at the yards per catch as well, 17.7. Which is crazy. So he's already back up to what he was, what is that, 5 years ago, as far as yards per catch. So that shows like this scheme is doing him favors, even though he's older now. Like, he should be slowing down, right? But he's not, because they're finding ways to get him open. And they did that in this game against the Titans. So those are things to be excited about moving forward, and hopefully that continues to get better.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a credit to the scheme, credit to the system.
Right.
no one's going to give anything to the quarterback. So it's not the quarterback's reasoning. All
Right.
Dave Canales, but that Dave Canales is the same guy that just keeps running the ball blatantly, consecutively. You got to, we just got to get a happy medium because
Right.
really we know the scheme works. We just need consistency across the board from everyone. Other than that, one more thing before let everyone go. Everyone that did want to see Kyle Trask, you saw him right there. One play, -1 yards.
Yeah, and you know, I talked about it with you. Like, if the Buccaneers play like they should, Kyle Trask should get some snaps in these games coming up. Like, the Bucs should have leads on these teams where it's possible that Baker could, or not Baker, but Kyle could come in and play for Baker, especially in the fourth quarter, just to finish up a game. He might not throw the ball, but he'll get in. So yeah, the whole thing with Trask and Baker, like, Baker's a starter for a reason. There's really no reason to make a switch at this time. Like, if Baker ended up getting hurt, then yeah, obviously you go to Kyle, but that's not the case. And Baker's not playing worse. So all right. But with that said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Be sure to hit that like button. We appreciate all the support. Thank you all for the comments and questions. So we're going to try to get more videos out this week with the film studies, and just keep a lookout for that. And then we'll be back live again next week, same time, 9:15 Eastern. So be sure to check us out. Hit that like button. And with that said, until the next one.